Good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking up time to watch this PTC Windchill training. MindMajix. I am Shankar from MindMajix. I will be a PTC Windchill trainer. So about me, I will be a Windchill trainer. So a little information about me. I am an experienced product lifecycle management consultant with 4 years of professional experience in implementation, configuration, and customization of PTC Windchill to meet PLM requirements. So I have worked with leading healthcare, automobile, and retail manufacturing companies to implement Windchill in a better business solution fit way. So I have interacted with stakeholders of Windchill users from different geographical locations and get the in-depth understanding of what they exactly need. And I have developed the utilities and to match their tailored requirements. This is a quick intro about myself. Scope of this demo. So in this demo, I will just quickly give you a grasp of whatever you can expect from this entire course. But this will be like an initial module where you can understand, okay, this course will be in this way, like how I will be approaching every topic and what I will be explaining in each topic. That I will give as a quick demo after the session, so you can just go through that and get a glimpse of like how it will be, how the entire course will be. So I'll be explaining the topics which I have mentioned here. So functionalities and features of Windchill, why we need Windchill in the first place and what functionalities it can provide. And second thing is Windchill architecture, what Windchill architecture is structured, and what are the different modules of Windchill. We have different modules like PDM link, project link, MPM link, and what is the importance of that. But this course is specifically designed for PDM link, but I will just touch base on all the other modules as well. Coming back to the next point, like create and manage products library team. So these are all like initial activities which a Windchill professional should know. So creating and managing the products library team, and how to add users to a role, add groups to a role, and assign a group to another group. Like what is the main difference between role group and another group, and how to create and manage the document templates with product library and organization context, and how to handle a change management process, and how to structure it, understand it. Everything else will be the scope of this demo. So this is just the previous slide just shows a demo, like how this session going forward, whether you can take it up or not. Like when it comes to the course outline, these are the topics which I will be covering in a 40-hour sessions. So it goes with a Windchill PLM overview, like what Windchill is and what kind of functionalities it can offer, and then we can gradually move on to a Windchill PDM link change of management process and ACL. So here we will go in deep with the change management process. We will take up an example and we will create a change notice, engineering change request, and change order, everything in that way. And at later stages, we'll just start with business object configuration, customization of workflow and lifecycle. Basically, here, Windchill is a solution, is not a ready-made solution. So if a user comes up and asks something like, we want it in this way, we used to customize it and configure it. So we will gradually touch upon that configuration and customization at this point. And moving on, we will see the Windchill database technology and development. Windchill is right now using Oracle to earlier they used 11G, now it's 12C. So what kind of database they are using and how to get the retrieve data, and how to do code operation, everything we will see in this topic. And moving forward, we're seeing a Windchill server-side customization, like how to listen to a particular event and everything, how to export it, how to write a particular utility. Everything will be seeing in this Windchill server-side customization. And moving forward, we'll go with client UI customization. Like client expects something, whether the UI has to function in the UI, they need some particular functionality, and if that has to perform in a different way, we will see that in Windchill client UI customization. So this 40-hour course is split in these topics, and these topics will have many subtopics, which will carry ample weightage, and will split the time accordingly in that manner. So add-on topics. This topics is will come as a subtopics to the previous frame. So we'll just give you an overview on hand, like how it works, the Windchill service framework, how it works, and there are different frameworks actually in Windchill to do every functionality. So we'll just go through the Windchill service framework, action model framework. We'll just introduce you to how to create a query builder and what is workgroup manager in the first place. That kind of stuff will be explained here. And I will give a general intro about like what are the additional modules that connects with Windchill, like FlexPLM. It's a retail-based module and manufacturing MPM link. It's a module which is specifically meant for manufacturing process. So I will be just giving you a touch base on these topics as well. Moving forward, what are the additional course resources that we will be providing from MindMajix? Is like you will be getting a Windchill administration guide and development guide, which will be provided by a PTC. So we'll let you know like how to use this guide and how to use this guide in an effective way to match your requirements and do your tasks in Windchill. So that will be performed, and I can share you the code snippet or a sample coding structures of or whenever you want to design or customize something, like what is the code snippet you have to take care, and like how it has to be structured in a basic way, that we will share, and flow diagrams for various standard process, like when you are designing some change management process and how a workflow has to look like and what kind of process that needs to be followed, that flow diagrams will be shared and get you trained and make you ready for attending a Windchill interview. We will be giving you sample PLM and Windchill resumes. So that would be very helpful, and we will guide you through that path, like what to add and how to match it with your the job description and how can you project you in a better way. That kind of guidance will be provided from us. So, okay, after a successful completion of this course, what you can do in an actual project, participants can take up the following projects. So, Windchill Business Administration projects, yes, managing the Windchill environment and performing the administrative tasks, you can do that. And Windchill support project, basically supporting the Windchill systems. Whenever they are facing issues, you will be the guy who jumps in and solves the issue. So, you can take that up, performing support activities and solving incidents raised in the Windchill system. And Windchill quality testing projects. You can involve in Windchill quality testing projects as well, like structuring and running the test cases to ensure that the developed modules of Windchill is with utmost quality, or whether it is having any bugs, you can do that. And you can also indulge in Windchill development projects and start practicing as a developer. You can customize after completing this course, it will give you a glimpse and like a firm understanding of how to customize the Windchill functionalities to meet the requirements of business users. So these are the things which you can actually work upon after completing this course. Okay, lab setup. So what do you need from your side to attend this course? Like high-speed internet is needed, desktop or laptop from your side, and that desktop or laptop, that machine has to have the following requiremements: Microsoft Windows 7 or above, 500 GB hard disk SATA SSD, memory is 16 GB, and CPU 4 cores. Yeah, we'll be moving on. We'll be taking a mock interviews. The reason we just do this step is to give you an immense confidence, or whether you can take up an interviews and crack it in a wonderful way. So, focusing on Windchill PLM specific openings, like we can just give you a guidance on like how to approach an interview and what are the frequently asked question, and that part, and analyzing the job description, highlighting the resume in accordance with the JD. Like whenever you are preparing the resume becomes the first part in this PLM industry. Like whether you know particular stuff. Most of the questions will be raised based on your resume. So we'll just make sure that the resume is good and an effective one. So certifications, what are all certifications you can take up after completing this course? Like you can take a Windchill Business Administration certification provided by PTC. It's a paid certification, and another one which is named as Windchill Professional Developer certification, also by PTC, which stands as another reputed certification in the PLM market industry. So and moving on, you can also take up the internal assessments and certification related to Windchill conducted by various MNCs. MNCs will generally take internal assessments actually. So you only if you're qualifying that assessments are on time, then they will onboard you to the project. So you can easily crack up that certifications as well. So I just thought of giving you a quick demo of like how my teaching strategy would be and how my approach on taking every topics would be. So I just thought of this is a very big topic in Windchill system architectural overview, but I will just give you a quick 10 to 15 minutes to more to understand you about a few topics in Windchill. So what is Windchill system architectural overview? Windchill is a PLM application, so every application has its own architecture, right? So it's a three-tier application basically. It's called as client tier, application tier, and database tier. So client tier is nothing but just what a client will see. He will interact with Windchill through a web browser. Like whatever operation he does using a web browser. And another way the client interacts with this application, one way is through web browser, and another way is through CAD tool. Like he might CAD like SolidWorks, NX CAD, or whatever CAD tool may be. So that will also be interacting with this application. So this is what I meant by client tier. So moving on, application tier. This is a core part of Windchill, like how Windchill functions. Like it has a huge functionalities, right? Like how everything runs and everything is executed. That will be explained in this application tier. So you will be having so this web browser, web server will get a request this will get an info from web browser and CAD tool, and this will based on the request it has to provide a response. So it will be connected to a servlet engine, and this servlet engine, there will be a servlet mapping. So what is servlet mapping and what is web server, will be seeing detailedly about that in the course. So then this is the core part of Windchill. This is a Windchill server. Like you can have a server manager and a method server. Method server is where everything runs on. When you're doing, if you are a little familiar with this Windchill world, you might heard about check in, check out, check in, revision, iteration, changing the life cycle state, and every huge number of operation happens. There are like a vast amount of services and listeners running behind Windchill, so everything will be executed in this method server. And you also have a database file, like what kind of data are stored in which way. So Oracle 12c is the database right now Windchill is being connected to. Like we'll see that tables as well, like in which tables, what kind of data and how it is being related. And we'll just go give you a intro about LDAP database. So LDAP database is basically like in an organization, like if you want to give an access to a Windchill people, they will already have a set of people's users name and password and IDs, right? So they will just connect away that username and password to this Windchill system. So this LDAP is called as Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. We'll be seeing detailing about this in the course. And file vault, like how you will be storing the data, that we'll be seeing it. Going on, like I thought of giving you a quick glimpse on how in Windchill terms to look into the sessions, how team, role, group, and the user differs. Like team is the one you can be from the users, business users of Windchill can be from engineering team, a manufacturing team. So that is an entire division of team. Like so that is the one which I'm mentioning about team. And in a team you can have as many number of people you want. And role is specifically in Windchill, we have a terminology called as whether the particular user is able to perform what kind of function, like what access do he have. He can able to modify, delete, update, revise, that kind of things will be explained here in the role. And when it comes to group, group is nothing but yeah, like we will club users, like three or one or many users under a certain group. So we can in that way we can easily manage the users. So this concept is called team, role, group, and user, and we'll explain it detailing about this in the course because it's a vast topic and it needs an ample amount of time, and I can just cover it in 15 minutes. So we'll see this detailing in the course. Yeah, this is how it is related. Team forms the higher hierarchy. In that, role will be there. So you can say design engineering role and manufacturing engineer role. In that, group will be there. Yeah, person from American group. Let's say like there is an American group and an European group. So people from American region will be connected to this group, and the people from European region will be connected to this group. And they will be this particular group and users will be attached to a role one, which is a design engineer, which might be a design engineer role. And this set of groups and users will be assigned to a role two, which might be like a mechanical engineer or a manufacturing engineer, something like that. So this is how it works. And the first most scene which you will see in this Windchill UI is this thing. We called this as like containers. This is called a product container. where you will have all that design data, documents, everything. And this is called as library, where you will manage the standardized parts, and everything will be managed at library level. And this is called as changes. Behind this changes, we have an entire scenario of change management, how to create a change notice, change task, everything. So this is called as changes. And this one is organization. So this is like they will one company, one big conglomerate can have many organizations. So this also forms a part of hierarchy, and this site is the topmost hierarchy. So if I can say it from reverse, one site can have many organizations, and to one organization you will have many products and many libraries. We'll see later in the course like how it is being categorized, and what relationship it holds. And the final one is the customization. This thing is just to make the customization of Windchill easy. You have a lot of options to explore here, where you can see a lot of options and make the development easier. That is the thing about this customization. And I just thought of giving you a quick glimpse about what is iteration, revision, and version. So whenever you are checking out a particular part or a document and you check in, the iteration will change. Like it changes from A.1 to A.2. So this is called as iteration. And when where a part or a document is being released, and when you perform a revision option, it will change from A.2 to B.1. This is called as revision. Like how this gets changed, and the practical session of how it is being, I will show you a demo on the actual course, and we'll see that later. And what is the concept behind why we need to, when we need to iterate, and when is being revised, and what is the operations running behind it, and how we can customize this operation, and all, we'll be seeing that in the course. Yeah, so this is a quick glimpse about change management process. The guy, whenever a particular engineer or they get a request, there is a problem with a particular part, they will create a problem report. Then there will be a guy called as change admin one. He will analyze all the problem report, and if they are a valid ones, he will create a change request. So that change request will go into further process of creating a change notice. So only valid change request will be, they will analyze from different perspective, like whether changing this part will affect their particular division of engineering, and what cost impact it has, and how much time we need to finish, and whether it's a prior one to make a change. The analysis will go there, and they will create a change notice. So this, once they have decided they have to make a change, they will create this change notice and change tasks as well. So this change notice and change task, once it's triggered, it will have a set of activities. That activities are called as change task. And once after completing this thing, the entire change management cycle closes. So and the change will be implemented. We'll go through the visual demo of how to create one, and how this process is being traversed from problem report to change task, and how change task is being completed. Everything, we'll see everything in as a part of a course. And I just thought of giving you like what is lifecycle workflow, and just a quick session about lifecycle workflow and team and users role. Like every part in Windchill there are some lifecycle objects, whether at what stage it is, whether it is an in-work stage, released stage, or under review. Like how we have our life cycle, right? We are a child, infant, and elderly people. Like we have our own set of life cycles. So every part has its own, whether it is an in-work stage, release stage, or under review, or whether it has been released to the manufacturing, or whether it reaches an obsolete stage. Everything we'll see through this life cycle workflow. What is life cycle, and how it is getting transferred from one life cycle state to another. That will be mentioning in that workflow, and how to structure a workflow, and how this state is being traversed. Everything we'll see in the course. And team and user roles. What kind of team needs to get this activity, and who can able to see those parts and documents at what stage. So in release stage, only certain people can edit, and who are the certain people, will be mentioning them in the team and user role. And what provision do they have, whether they can able to modify, delete, will be providing that kind of information here. And so these are just what are the various types of workflow operation. What can you do with the workflow application? We can trigger notification. We can just create and approve or reject task, activity timer, like how long the operation has to wait, to trigger the next operation or whether to skip the operation or send a mail, everything we can control it in the time and logical execution. Like what happens if the user presses approve and what happens if the user press reject, and where it has to move to the next stage, and everything that will be managing the logical execution. And like I explained before, like the teams and roles who can able to create, modify, and set state operations, that also will be covered.